Beloved, if you're just starting this healing journey, if you're really just now beginning to dive in and get serious about clearing out the nonsense, all the things, right? All that conditioned unlovability, all the beliefs you've inherited that don't belong to you. When you've started that journey of stepping into the oblivion to find your way to freedom, I want you to ask yourself as you go along, is this process that I'm in right now by myself or with another person, is this temporarily making me feel better, or is this permanently clearing out the gunk? Oftentimes when we feel better immediately, like when somebody says something, we hear words or we go through like a technique that somebody guides us through, or we find it on YouTube, whatever, maybe a meditation, we can feel a sort of swelling of relief. And that's nice. There's nothing wrong with that. But a lot of times what's actually happening is that swelling of relief is your ego being placated because your story is getting validated. The story of this happened to me, this is my trauma drama, this it's not my fault, I'm a victim, somebody hurt me. And our stories, I'm not saying you're wrong. I what I say to my students, my clients is, it doesn't matter if the story's true or not. Usually there's at least a kernel of truth in a story, which is what makes it so appealing to our ego self. Our ego is afraid of expansion. It's afraid that you're going to get too big. And ultimately, it's afraid of you being unsafe because you're too big a target. When you expand energetically and you find your way to that authenticity and freedom, there's like this ego barrier you need to push through where your ego wants to shut it down because it's not doesn't recognize this new energy, and the ego fears what it has not experienced because it's designed to keep you safe, it's designed to keep you secure. And so it gets unruly when you start to do this healing expansion stuff, because it's like, look, at least this is the devil I know. What are you doing? You could die out there. So we can have some real compassion for our ego and even gratitude for our ego for throwing up these defense mechanisms and throwing up these walls to keep us safe for as long as we needed to stay safe. We can get into this trap on our spiritual journey, on our healing journey, with that validating the story and mistaking it for deeper healing work. Deeper healing work is not in the mind, it's in the body, it's in the emotional experience. It's going all the way in. And the ego's going to have a fit about that initially. You're going to have to bypass that. You're going to have to get uncomfortable, let yourself feel those uncomfortable feelings. And then the relief you feel on the other side of that, underneath the story, through that oblivion, like I said, through those uncomfortable emotions, that's the permanent clearing. That relief is signifying the permanent clearing. So I'm not saying that every time you feel relief, you're just in your ego, but I am saying that you need to be discerning on your healing journey of, hey, be honest with yourself. Is this experience I'm having a validation of my story and therefore a temporary feeling better in this moment? Or is this the result of some deeper clearing work that I've done? Have I felt through some stuff and moved into that feeling better, permanently clearing that stuck energy? All right. And that's what soulmatic renewal is all about, which is the healing work that I do. It's about identifying the story, which is easy to miss. It's easy to confuse the story for your authentic emotional experience, and it is not your authentic emotional experience. Helping you sift out the story and your emotional experience, and then getting underneath that in a way that is loving and relatively easy to do. All right. So be aware, love yourself through it. You got this. And again, if you're new on your healing journey or you're diving into a new layer, I am so fucking proud of you. It takes such courage to step through that door, to let go of that conditioned unlovability and how we identify ourselves through our conditioning, through our past experiences. You're amazing. I love you.